From our last meeting, we've talked about the general overview of digestion and animal nutrition, and we have covered a fair bit of the nutrients or elements that is found, the nutrients that is found in your animal feed. And for today, we will be diving deep on that specific topic. Pag-uusapan natin, saan ba gawa ang animal feeds? Or more accurately, ano ba yung mga nutrients na makukuha sa animal feeds? And what are the different forms of analysis in determining na yung hayop natin ay nakakakuha ng tamang nutrisyon from the feeds that we are providing them. So pag-uusapan natin yung gross chemical composition of animal feeds. And there are two approaches on analyzing the composition of your animal feed. You can look at it at its element level. Ibig sabihin yan yung mga micro and macronutrients na napag-usapan natin during our discussion on animal nutrition overview, katulad ng calcium, iron, carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, etc. So you can analyze the composition of your feeds via determining ano ba yung elemental composition. So this is the first approach, the elemental composition of animal feeds. The second approach is what we call as proximate composition. And ito yung madalas na gamitin ng mga agriculturists and animal scientists when they are determining the quality of the feed that they are providing to the animal. Ano yung mga example ng proximate composition? For example, you're analyzing yung pinaka familiar sa atin, you're analyzing the crude protein content of the feed. So that is proximate composition. So yun yung titignan natin na dalawang ways to analyze the composition of animal feeds, elemental composition, and proximate composition. Simulan natin sa elemental composition. And elemental composition, as I have told you earlier, this refers to analyzing yung fundamental elements that makes up the nutrients essential for the growth of your animal. So ano yung mga example ng elements na to? Okay? Yung mga elements na bumubuo ng proteins, carbohydrates, fats, vitamins, and minerals. So later on, pag-uusapan natin, iisa-isahin natin yung mga elements na tinutukoy dito, katulad ng carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, iron, etc. But, as we all know, pagdating sa nutrients or pagdating sa elemental composition ng animal feeds, you can subdivide this into two, di ba? Merong mga elements na kailangan ng hayop, ng maramihan, and we call that as your macronutrients, kasi nga, pangmaramihan. And meron naman yung mga elements or mga nutrients na kailangan lang ng hayop ng paunti-unti lang. And we call that as micronutrients. So in order for this discussion to be logical, we will start off by discussing the elemental composition of animal feeds. Particularly, mauuna tayo sa mga macronutrients or yung mga kailangan ng hayop primarily ng maramihan. They require it in large amount. Why? Because these are the primary sources of energy and the structural components in animal diet. And ang una natin pag-uusapan is the CHO or what we call as the carbon, the hydrogen, and the oxygen. So pinagsama-sama natin tong tatlong ito because these three elements are the foundation of molecules. Not just in animals, even in plants and in human beings. Itong tatlong ito, the carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen, ito yung backbone ng mga importanteng molecule sa loob ng katawan ng hayop, katulad ng carbohydrates, fats, and proteins. So for example, ang carbon. Ano ang gamit niyan? Carbon forms the skeleton of organic compounds, tulad ng glucose, fatty acids, and amino acids. While yung hydrogen and oxygen, yan ay kailangan for water balance and energy metabolism, or yung pag-produce ng tinatawag nating ATP. Okay? So you can analyze the composition of your feeds by looking at how much carbon, how much hydrogen, and how much oxygen are in there. Another important macronutrients would be your nitrogen. And this one, this element, is very important for protein synthesis. Sabi nga dito, ito daw ay susi ng protein synthesis. Bakit? Kasi ang nitrogen, yan ang pinaka-component or a major component of amino acids and proteins. And ang amino acids and proteins are essential for muscle growth. So when you're trying to grow your animal in order to produce meat or even milk production, kailangan mo ng nitrogen. Now for some animals like ruminants like cattle, ang diet nila does not contain much of nitrogen. Kasi ang pinoprovide natin sa kanila is more on plant-based diet, right? Mga forages, yan, mga grasses, etc. So ang ruminants basically has their way of recycling nitrogen. And basically, ang ginagawa ng mga farmers in order to fulfill yung nitrogen na kailangan ng kanilang mga ruminants, hindi na nagdadagdag sila ng urea doon sa pagkain. Now, this is essential for animals with multiple chambers of stomach like your ruminants, pero this is poison for monogastric animals. Okay? Now, paano ba nangyayari na pinapakinabangan pala or paano ba tinatransform basically ng mga ruminants yung nitrogen na binibigay natin sa kanila para maging source of protein? Sa madaling salita, what happens is basically yung nitrogen na ibinibigay natin sa mga ruminants, yun ay ginagamit ng mga bakterya sa kanilang katawan. Kumbaga, kinakain yun ng bakterya, tapos yung bakterya na pinakain, yun yung magiging source nila ng protein. Now, that is a simplified process, The process is more complex than that, but basically, that is the idea if I'm going to explain it. Another important macronutrient would be your phosphorus. And your phosphorus plays a critical role in bone formation, pero mas pinaka-importante, very important siya for ATP production. Kaya kung mapapansin nyo dito, ang phosphorus daw ay isang energy regulator. Okay? It is a key component of the ATP or our adenosine triphosphate. Ano ba yung adenosine triphosphate? Basically, yan yung energy ng katawan. Yan yung energy currency na kailangan sa napakadaming aktibidades sa loob at labas ng katawan ng hayop. Kaya naman, kapag kulang din ang phosphorus, mapapansin mo yung hayop mo is weak, okay? Poor din yung kanyang reproduction and para siyang walang ganang kumain. Kasi nga walang energy yung katawan for metabolism, for catabolism, for anabolism. Okay? Another important macronutrient is your sulfur. And your sulfur is a protein enhancer. Kumbaga, partner siya ni nitrogen. Why? Because the sulfur is found also in your amino acids. At the same time, your sulfur is found in vitamins such as biotin and thiamine. Isa sa mga essential na function ng sulfur is specifically sa sheep is yung pag-grow ng kanilang wool, and it also maintains hoof and skin integrity. Kaya naman, kung kulang or deficient ang sulfur sa katawan ng hayop, it can cause poor coat quality and it can cause slow growth. Paano naman kapag sobra-sobra yung sulfur? Kapag sobra-sobra yung sulfur, nagkakaroon tayo ng tinatawag na polyoencephalomalacia. Okay? It's a brain disorder, it's a neurological disorder that is mostly particular for ruminants. So kapag excess ang sulfur, nagkakaroon ng polyoencephalomalacia. Kapag naman deficient, it can cause poor coat quality and slow growth, lalong-lalo na sa ating mga sheep. Of course, hindi mawawala si calcium. Diba? Kasi si calcium, yan yung primary component ng bones, ng teeth. Pagdating sa poultry, primary component of eggshell. And even, it is also important for transmission. Kaya ang calcium, very essential yan kung gusto mo na strong yung skeletal structure and egg production ng iyong hayop. Skeletal structure for big animals, for all animals, I suppose, and egg production in your poultry. At the same time, calcium regulates muscle contraction and it is important for blood clotting. Kaya naman, when calcium is deficient, you will have some disorders katulad ng tinatawag nating hypocalcemia, or we also term that as milk fever. Is more specifically for dairy cows. Now, ayaw natin yon. Ayaw natin na magkaroon ng hypocalcemia yung ating dairy cows because that's important for their milk production. Kapag sobra-sobra naman ang calcium, it can interfere with phosphorus absorption. And finally, pinagsama-sama ko na to, important macronutrients finally would be your potassium, magnesium, sodium, and chlorine. Now, bakit ko siya pinagsama-sama? Kasi itong mga macronutrients na to, they are important for electrolyte balance. Diba sa mga athletes natin, hindi lang tubig yung kailangan nating ibigay sa kanila in order for them to perform better. Kailangan merong halong electrolyte yan. Bakit? Ano ba kasi ang function ng electrolyte? Well, they are very important for nerve function, yung muscle contraction, and at the same time, they are very important in balancing the acid base within the animal's body. For example, ang potassium. Ang potassium, very important yan for nerve transmission. Kumbaga, kailangan ng mga nerves ng potassium in order to signal to one another kung ano ba dapat yung tamang gawin. Ang magnesium, very important naman yan for nervous system stability. Para hindi maging jittery or para hindi maging sobrang, what do you call this? Para hindi prone sa stress yung hayop mo, you need magnesium in their system. And at the same time, sodium and chlorine maintains osmotic pressure and acid-base balance, which is very, very important when it comes to the process of homeostasis. Kapag kulang ang magnesium sa katawan ng hayop, specifically in cattle, nagkakaroon ng tinatawag na hypomagnesemia. Hypomagnesemia. And ito yung condition, magnesemia. Ito yung condition kung saan naglalak yung katawan ng cattle. Basically, it cannot move, nagtutwitch, nagkakaroon ng weakness yung muscle ng cattle natin. So that is not good for the animal. At the same time, kung kulang naman ng sodium and chlorine yung ating hayop, it can lead to poor feed conversion, which is very, very important kasi dapat efficient yung pamimigay mo ng nutrient dun sa hayop mo. At the same time, it can cause dehydration kahit pa binibigyan mo ng tubig yung hayop. So that is the elemental composition pertaining to macronutrients. At ako naman tayo doon sa micronutrients. Ito yung mga kailangan lang in smaller amounts. But these are critical. Kahit na smaller lang yung kailangan ng hayop dito, very important yan when it comes to enzyme function, immune health, and reproduction. Siyempre, ang pinakaunang pag-uusapan natin when it comes to micronutrients is the blood oxygen carrier, your iron. Okay? Your iron is very important kasi yan yung essential component ng hemoglobin that is necessary for oxygen transport. Bakit dumidikit ang oxygen doon sa ating red blood cells? Hindi dahil may glue yung red blood cells mo, but rather because there is a hemoglobin component. Siya yung nag-a-attract ng mga oxygen molecules that allows the oxygen to go around and travel into the entire body of your animal. When iron is deficient, nagkakaroon tayo ng anemia sa hayop. And the anemia can cause poor growth, it can cause paleness doon sa hayop, and yung tipong parang wala siyang gana. Sources of iron would include blood meal, fish meal, and alfalfa, and even molasses. Another important micronutrient would be your zinc, which is very important naman for growth and reproduction. Zinc is involved sa different types of enzyme activation. It's also important in immune function, but more specifically, very important ang zinc when it comes to maintaining the health of the hoof of your hayop. Okay? Now, kapag deficient ang zinc, nagkakaroon din ng tinatawag na parakeratosis. Parakeratosis is this disease, basically, that is characterized by skin lesions. O nagkakaroon ng lesion, yung balat ng ating hayop, it can cause slow growth, poor reproductive performance. Another important micronutrient would be your copper. And this is a pigmentation and metabolism regulator. So this is very essential for red blood cell formation, coat color, and connective tissue synthesis. Kaya kung mapapansin nyo, kapag kulang rin ang copper doon sa katawan ng hayop, nagkakaroon ng parang faded color yung kanilang coat. Aside from that, this is also important in maintaining bone health. Kaya kapag kulang rin ang copper, it signals weak bones. It results to weak bones to your animal. In terms of fertility naman, importanteng micronutrient yung ating manganese. Okay? This is very important for reproduction. Kaya kapag kulang ang manganese, it can lead to infertility. Paano nakukuha ang manganese? You can get it from leafy feeds, you can get it from legumes, and for some, you can get it from mineral supplements. And finally, selenium. Selenium is a micronutrient that works hand in hand with vitamin E. Okay? And ano yung pinaka-function niyan? Siya ay antioxidant. Ang antioxidant is basically the way of the body is a molecule that protects the body from toxic molecules in the environment, or yung tinatawag nating oxidative stress, I suppose. So it's very important in protecting and maintaining the immune health of your animal. Kapag kulang ang selenium, it can lead to white muscle disease or it can lead to poor immune function. So this is the way that this is the elemental composition of feeds. Basically, what we're trying to do is to determine kung ano ba yung mga macro and micronutrients that is present in the feed of the animal. Pero madalas, hindi ito ginagamit ng mga agriculturists, hindi rin ginagamit ng mga animal scientists in terms of determining the composition of the feeds na binibigay nila sa hayop. Madalas, ang ginagamit nila is yung proximate composition analysis.
Magtitake ka ba ng licensure exam for agriculturists this year? If yes, I believe my course is for you. Enroll now at Learning Agri with Al modular course by clicking the link below. Ano pang hinihintay mo? Mag-enroll ka na. Samahan kita mag-review. Bye!